house.
Hey. We're in the house.
Bobby being all creative today. I love it.
Sliding in, sliding out.
Sliding in, sliding out. That's what I'm talking about.
That's what you do on a Friday.
Yes. What are you singing?
Oh, Roy and I are commemorating mental health awareness. Good job.
Oh, yes, for the green.
Like
that is nice.
Yes, we are.
Yes, I love it. And then you have Mr. Battle down at the bottom representing for Omega Psi Phi, who's holding their purple and gold ball tonight.
Are you going?
I'm going.
I gotta go.
I'm going.
We all going.
We all
going.
Popping bottles.
I'm telling y'all right now.
It's gonna be on. It's gonna be on, Roy.
I'm just telling y'all right now.
Hey man, listen, man, don't throw your back out of place.
I didn't say that. It might be something I'm wearing.
Yeah, don't throw your back out of place, sir.
Don't let me
celebrate.
Stretch very good, man. Get your deep massage, get your deep tissue massage.
I'm icing before we go out and stretching.
I'm gonna have with me the big and
go to the trainer's table, get you some
pain medicine.
Yes,
Advil, all of it.
I'm gonna have 911 on speed dial.
You're a former athlete. You know what it means to go to the trainer's table and get that treatment. Get that treatment, dog.
Do we have a good table? I want to be right in front.
Me too.
I got Unc down there who's been, just a great advisor. I'm one phone call away for what I need to do. You know what I mean?
I love it.
Sit down there because he better not be out there.
He gonna tell me what to do and what to do afterwards too.
Wow.
I'm so happy that Roy is part of the D9 family now. So.
Yes,
I appreciate it.
Yeah,
I appreciate it. We got one more though.
Captain, would you like to add something before we move on? I'm just asking.
It's always great to have great people join into our illustrious fraternity of Omega Psi Phi fraternity, and he's definitely going to be an asset more so than a detriment to the fraternity. But Friday is definitely going to be one for the books.
Today,
for sure.
It's one for the books tonight.
For sure.
Yeah, in a few minutes.
Okay.
You know what the best part about it is, though? We all get to go together.
I know.
That's the best part.
Do we have a car service? Am I driving myself? What's going on?
We do have to leave early, so let's hurry up with the show.
Okay.
Well, wait. Belinda, are you going early? Are you all? Because I'm gonna have to get a car service to go up because Roy's leaving me.
I gotta be there early.
Yeah, I think I'm probably gonna be left too. So can I ride with you?
Do you want to do what we did?
I'm just letting you know, Belinda, I can't pour nothing for y'all early, okay? I can't make y'all mad drinks.
That was the first thing I was thinking. Is Roy gonna make our drinks before we?
Is he gonna make our to go? Our little to go basket.
Well, T, can you make our little cooler of snacks and beverages for the road?
Whatever you need, baby. I make whatever you want.
Thank you.
I love it.
Yes.
Love it.
Yes.
Love it.
I love that. I'm
Look
feeling
at
it.
Miles.
Miles. You know the funny thing is Miles, the look of Miles. Oh my gosh.
I love it. I love
Don't
it.
turn away, Miles.
I know. He's cheeks all red, everything.
You know what's funny?
Flooded with emotion.
That's the same look he had on our wedding day.
Oh my God. Is that before or after he cried? Is that
Probably
before or
both.
after he cried on our wedding day?
Both probably. Look, is that the same facial expression he had when you were going up to the school acting like his daddy?
Oh no, I felt good then. I knew I won't get my ass whipped. So that was a good thing.
But his eyes got big. He was muffling a smile.
He was trying to hold a smile back. Let's see.
Trying to hold it back.
Well, I want to start the show out with earlier this week we lost an icon.
Yes.
Yes.
Tina Turner passed away at her home in Switzerland.
That's right. She did live abroad. She lived abroad.
Yeah.
She married a European.
82 years old, years young.
Mm-hmm.
They said that she passed away from an ongoing battle with an illness, an undisclaimed illness.
Mm.
Yeah.
The only
icon.
Got to do with it.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely an icon that will be missed.
Even my kids recognized that loss. When I picked them up from school, they were like, "Oh, Mommy, did you hear Tina Turner?" And then they went and told their grandfather, you know, because he's on social media.
Hey, I'll tell you what, I'll never forget that Ike and Tina movie. God, dog.
Yeah.
That was an excellent movie, man.
It really was.
What's love got to do with it? Like Lawrence Fishburne really should have won an Academy Award.
Bassett.
And Angela Bassett was excellent in that movie too.
Yeah.
That movie was just an excellent depiction of their relationship and her rise to fame and how everything came together. Man, that's like one of my favorite movies of all time. One of my favorite Angela Bassett movies of all time, I should say.
Do you think Tina Turner served as a consultant on that project?
I think so.
Sure.
I would think so because just the way the movie flowed and how it reflected the accuracy of her stories that she had already told. Mm-hmm. Everything just was so congruent about it. Mm-hmm. So I believe she had to be a part of that in some capacity as a consultant, as an assistant director, in some capacity, she was there telling that story.
And I hope she got a fat check from it.
And I think the key points in the movie, a lot of pivotal moments in the movie came from her, i.e., when they had to fight in the car, she ran across the highway to the other hotel, and then when they were in court and she just wanted her name, and that was it. It was those pivotal moments, I believe, that triggered her, coming from her as a consultant,
Well, there were two things that Tina Turner did that will forever be etched in my mind. Number one, when she had her hair spiked. You remember she was like the first person who had her hair like that? And I have yet to see anyone else have a short tuxedo suit. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Right. You remember when she wore that to the award show? She had a short tuxedo. I think I might have been in middle school.
Yeah,
I still been wanting to do that. I'm gonna do that before I die. I'm gonna wear.
Ms. Watkins, you wonder whether Tina was a consultant on that movie, but I tend to wonder if Ike was.
I already knew you was gonna say that because I was thinking that. I don't think he was, but let's here's the other part of it though.
You're so bad.
There was you got to think about. There's some mad genius behind Ike and Tina building what they built though. Let's you know what I mean. That's the other part. You want to. Because I think when you think of Ike, you think of all the negative things and what was shown in that movie. But for you to come up with an idea like, huh?
How could you not? How could you not think of all the negative things?
But I think in this moment, I just think in this moment, while we're talking about Tina Turner, I don't want to reflect on the negative part of it too. I think it's coming out of story of her overcoming something that she was part of, and she became something greater.
Well, even Jesus had Judas. I'm just saying, everybody played their role.
Right.
Yeah.
He played a pivotal role in her becoming who she is.
Yeah. And, I mean, David needed Goliath.
I just don't want to overlook that part, though, right?
David needed Goliath. She needed Ike to push her in the corner for her to break out and recognize that she's nobody's side piece. Yeah. I'm not going to share my husband with the backup singer. You're not going to slap me. What I said. Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. You're getting a little out of control.
It's just like if you don't.
I digress.
There's also the first black woman.
Next topic, please. Next topic.
Iconic on MTV with her videos and everything as well.
Mm-hmm. She was the first woman on black woman on was it Rolling Stone magazine?
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to remember where she came from. She came from poverty. So this is the trauma of her upbringing and able to build herself up and also empowered enough to say this country, this place doesn't suit me.
Or anyone who looks like me.
Exactly.
And I encourage all of you to lead. I encourage all of you.
There's a strength to that.
But I think
Nutbush, Tennessee.
Yeah, she came, but I think her music too, and what she was singing and her look, I think it came at the right moment in time where everything kind of the MTV and all that stuff, when videos were big.
Yeah.
Because it couldn't have, I don't think it could. I'm not saying she wouldn't have been big, but I'm just saying at that moment in time, like we don't see music videos like that in MTV and you know like that during this moment in time.
That whole
anytime she did Rolling, you have to stop. Like you just had to stop and watch. You can't just be like walking by and keep walking. You have to stop because those legs were everything.
But you are correct about the videos. That's very iconic in that era.
Did you notice that when her passing happened on Wednesday, DeSantis also announced that he was running for president, but it got pushed down. It got pushed down in a news cycle because she passed away. You don't even know what I'm talking about because
you didn't see it.
The impact that it was going to make.
He knows what you're talking about. He just said
because of her passing, which is so ironic because that was what she stood for. That's where I'm trying to go with this.
And it circles also back to our last show. We talked about
saying some name and it don't mean nothing. It don't mean nothing.
It circles back to how Disney can take control of the whole situation and make the headline of what they want it to be.
Yes, because they control so many entities
that
they have the ability to just
look at Disney,
create the narrative of all of the news cycles.
Okay.
Side note, y'all better turn them Teslas back in.
What happened?
Because that person announced his endeavor along with the person who started
Elon Musk.
Tesla.
I'm trying to figure out why are you talking about that? I mean, you the one who told me not to.
I was just asking who. I also want to make people aware. Plain and simple.
Well, sir, I don't own a Tesla, sir.
Me neither.
Because I'm not the captain.
You'll have to be more than a captain because the captain don't have one either.
Thank you, Bobby.
Oh my gosh.
So a parent, and it's unfortunate that you all can't read the scribble that the parent placed on the form to cite that the book should be removed from her child's library here in Miami-Dade County. That's made national news. I believe it's the Bob Graham Educational Center.
Correct.
And the parent cited the book, The Hill We Climb, and listed the author as Oprah Winfrey, which was incorrect. The author is actually Amanda Gorman. And you may remember Amanda from was it Biden? Yeah. His inauguration. She read the poem and she had the nice little red hairpiece I mean, what was it, like a big beret or something in her hair when she was reading it. If you don't remember her name, I'm just trying to help you remember who she was. At any rate, her book has been, it's not banned according to school board member Steve Gallen, because nothing in the book was inappropriate. It did not fall under any type of criteria for the book to be banned. What they did do was they removed it from the elementary library and placed it in the middle school area.
Right.
But many are saying that the problem is that many times if you have uneducated people who have the ability to make a decision for a whole group, then there's a problem with the system. Amanda came out, she spoke out and said that she felt as if she was gutted, completely gutted by her book, which was meant to empower youth, to be removed from the elementary school.
Robbing children of the chance to find their voices in literature.
You know, what's the sad part about it is that you'd rather the schools teach your children that Christopher Columbus discovered America when we know it is not true. I mean, all the lies that are in literature and history that you teach that teach our kids, and you want us to believe that, but then you don't want the truth.
So we need to use the same system. As parents, we have a responsibility to say, okay, I can write.
And that's what I was thinking, Belinda. I said, is it really that easy? Well, then maybe I need to go and look and see.
I didn't know
I don't want.
I don't know if it's necessarily that easy, but I think the media sometimes draws attention to what they want to draw attention to. And I mean, I think right now, especially with the disruption of the state of Florida, the state we reside in right now, it's just adding fuel to the fire.
But here's the thing that kills me about the whole thing about they're talking about her poem or her book being somewhat discriminatory or what have you. Every morning, every child is supposed to get up and sing what we call our national anthem, which in itself depicts war and pillage every morning. So we are depicting violence to our kids every single morning, but you want to take a poem that's supposed to encourage and uplift a demographic so that they can have a voice within themselves that they never had before. And for somebody to even look at that and say, you know what, maybe I can write. Maybe I can go into literature, or maybe I can go and be a nurse, or maybe I can go and be a doctor or an attorney or whatever. You don't know what this thing will inspire some young child in. However, we say pledge allegiance to the flag or Star Spangled Banner every single morning with the rockets glaring.
I think now we have an opportunity, the way that they devised it now, to cite that we have a problem with that.
Absolutely.
And I will go back and add this, and I'm done with this part. It's just that I don't know how you all, well, I'm going to assume there were things that I knew that I was not going to be taught. My parents taught it to me. Yeah, and I do that now with my children. Yeah. I don't know what they're doing in the school system, but I'm definitely not going to rely on them teaching my children things that they need to know in order to be very astute, to see beyond what someone is saying. I mean, they'll come home right now and say, you will not believe what so-and-so said. I said, what? This teacher, she gonna have the nerve to say so-and-so. I'm not saying it. So-and-so and so-and-so. And I'm like, now you know.
Oh my God.
And I'd be like, y'all got that from y'all mama.
Our youngest child, this dude was birthed from Malcolm X and Marcus Garvey because he can't take history. He just can't. Because he's like, Dad, they talking about they're talking about the Cubans that came over to Miami and everything. He said, what did they do? He said, you told me the Bahamians built this. I said, we did. And you told me the Bahamians were the first black neighborhood in the Grove. I did. But why they keep talking about them? I said, well, mention it to your teacher, but you got to mention it in a professional way. And I don't know why I said that, because
my goodness,
he doesn't know how to mention
My
it.
daddy told me.
Right.
Tell you.
Kind of like it's kind of like that Kevin Hart skit.
Yes.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
Yes.
That Kevin Hart skit. He said, "My mama said to you, you better not."
Right.
We gotta keep teaching that history.
Padre,
we have to. It's our responsibility. It's the church's responsibility. It's our responsibility as parents.
And so
Yeah.
I've always
really
had a passion
important that we
for
keep
Black
teaching that
history, for Black Miami history, which is why I always teach it to the Omega Youth Program every single year. And we go over the same exact thing to the point where next year I'm going to try and go to the physical buildings and stuff like the DA.
Oh, that'll be nice. Like a walking history tour.
Right, a walking history tour, and go by the Stirrups house and go by Mariah Johnson's house.
Well, I can tell you this: the one for Richmond Heights, I've already written it.
Okay,
I've written the walking history tour for Richmond Heights.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what, we need to put it in a play. Yeah,
you know what I realized though. I think
that's
give it to me so we can try it out, and I'll start doing that. I'll start doing that.
You got it.
I think this is no different than. I think God allows certain things come to attention. As this is not an accident that her poem has surfaced and allowed it to hit national news, because now we're going to, I think, see the exact opposite of what this woman intended to happen. It's no different than when Kyrie Irving had said, hey, you guys need to watch this documentary. And also, it's like it just brings it, this national attention. So I believe that it's bringing this to the forefront, to light for people to really pay attention to and read.
Our school board member, I can't remember her name, but she told all people, she encouraged everyone, I think you should go and buy the book, and you all will see for yourselves that is not what the intent and spirit behind it was.
In 2021, it's 2023. That happened in 2021.
Last note on that was that this is the reason why Jack and Jill began, because a mother would take a group of children to give them Black history lessons and to visit the library. Miles, you were going to say something?
No, I was going to say that's precisely the problem with allowing them to control the narrative of our history and how it is projected and portrayed and disseminated to the masses. And to piggyback off of what you and Belinda were speaking about earlier,
let me hit you with the
as it pertains to the teaching, and
we're hydrating for tonight.
As it pertains to the teaching of our history to our kids and letting them know that history is his story, but it's not necessarily our story, and to make sure that it's reflected and told accurately. And last but certainly not least, that's one of the scarier things that you can see transpiring in our communities, because with each passing generation, we tend to lose a piece of our history because we don't have the same level of consciousness and reverence for what has happened in the past and being taught. It's like we're feeding our kids a bunch of this BS with materialistic things and trying to placate situations instead of really educating them to elevate them so that they understand their rightful place as human beings and as Black kings and queens. And it's really a scary dynamic, because I see it all the time in my church. Like there isn't the same level of fervor and enthusiasm for Black history as it was when we were coming up. It just isn't.
Well, because I don't think we make it priority.
100%, Roy. 100%.
School doesn't make it a priority. You know what I mean?
But Roy, like Ms. Markin said, and it's not our parents knew that we weren't going to be taught that in school. So they made a concerted effort to ensure that they did it themselves, or put us in the environments in which we would acquire, and that knowledge would be inculcated into us.
Oh, Jesus.
In who?
So, but to back up that point, it is incumbent upon us to continue to keep that going and not allow it to die. And we have to keep it going regardless. Whether the burden seems to be arduous and it seems to be redundant. Nobody
he's trying to use a big word. He's trying to compete. That's what it is.
So no one is doing it, and what have you. We have to continuously do it until somebody else picks up or comes along with it with us and continue to pass that on. Like when you come to our meeting in February, they will tell you that I hate Black History Month. I hate Black History Month. And I turn to one of my mentees and I say, tell them why I hate Black History Month. And he said, because you're not Black for 28 days out of the year. You're Black every day. I say, you doggone right. I'm Black every day. So Black history comes to me every single day. Not just
so let's lighten it up just a tad.
You lighten that down. Oh, why you gonna light it up? Look at you.
She said light skinning it up. That's what she said.
I see.
It's y'all Hampton brother, ain't it? DJ Envy, Hampton alumni, right?
Yes,
he is. Rick Ross was able to get his permit for his car show. And I'm not sure if it has anything to do with DJ Envy, but boy, I tell you, these two will not keep each other's name out their mouth. Oh yeah.
What's the deal? I mean, I know Envy
Ross was on Drink Champs, and he told them that DJ Envy was never on his level with car shows. DJ Envy then came back and began to talk about Rick not having any street cred because he was a correction officer. Ross then said that Envy's kids can come over and clean his pool. And then he did another video and said, now here's my other house. You can have your kids come and clean this pool. And then they can even do flips off of the slide. And then Envy went to work with a correction officer uniform on and did the show.
Y'all doing too much.
Charlamagne told him that when did it get this deep? This was about a car show.
Remember, but don't forget, Ms. Markins, Rose brought in Envy's wife into the fray too, or his girlfriend. Well, he called his wife his girlfriend and said that she could come be his hold on, let me get this right. His what's the new sport? The new sport.
Yes, pickleball.
My pickleball paddle polisher or something to that effect.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. My pickleball paddle polisher.
I mean, all this is so stupid. I mean, Envy has built a brand with the car show and the car culture, which is fine. And he traveled.
Wait. Rick said you got your money from your daughter having a lawsuit. His daughter, I don't know if she got in a car accident or something.
I have no idea.
I don't know so much about
but what does that matter, though? It doesn't.
Google.
Google.
Oh my God.
Google. It really doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Like the man built the brand with this car show deal, which I think is kind of cool because that car culture has kind of died out. I mean, like when we were growing up,
the other guy was telling Envy what was wrong with him being a correction officer. Like,
right, there's nothing wrong. You have
to have a job.
But you know, it's so interesting that you say that
the car deal with Rose, he just has a whole bunch of cars or what have you. To say that he's never been on his level, well, okay, so what? Who cares if ain't nobody been on your level? And then, so what if he was a correctional officer? We all did jobs we didn't want to do.
Right. Well, you know, I think it's supposed to be contradictory of who he is and what he stands for. So
but he can still be. He can still have street cred and still be a correctional officer.
The mayor.
Miles.
He was a security guard.
No, you know, I'm just here for the banter, so I think it's funny. But you already know from past fracases between stars.
What's the word again?
Fracas. Altercation.
On my nerves. You
past
on my
fracases.
nerves.
What the fracas is
I just it makes me cringe anytime somebody brings another man's wife or kids into a beef. Like, I have a real issue with that. Because, Roy, at the end of the day, if I got a problem with you, then
you bet not say nothing about me. Okay? You bet not say nothing about me.
Like, if I got a problem with you, Roy, I got a problem with you. You and I gonna handle that. I'm not gonna bring your wife or Harper or
don't even say their name. Don't even say their name.
I'm not gonna do that. If I got a problem with if I got a problem with T, I got a problem with T. I'm not talking about Belinda or Kumar. I'm not doing that.
Now that he's put our kids' names out there nationwide, let's go ahead.
I'm not sure why you're saying my
grandmother's name and her maiden name is.
But you know what, Miles? We're not wrapped the way that they are. We're not going for likes. We're not going for retweets. We're not looking to become a viral.
That's a good point. That's a good point.
I don't really even know if any of this is real.
Yeah.
You're right. You might be right. You might be right. It might be all stage propaganda. You might be right. You just.
Sure. I mean, it's just like the Biggie Tupac. I mean, some say it was just to make records. That's all it was. It wasn't real.
Now we talking about car show beef.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
But it's not car show beef now because they've gone beyond the car show, which is the whole thing. Oh, Bobby said we got to keep going. So is this real?
I don't think so.
Megan Good has
next. No, it's not real. Next.
I don't think it's real.
Come on, Bobby. Next.
Belinda, I keep
it's
telling you about jumping to climax.
Oh,
you got to give the foreplay a second. Jeez.
I'm not into foreplay. Come on now. Get to it.
Oh, Lord.
What you do?
Megan Good.
Y'all already know what this man's heart is.
The
man
done spotted out a few times.
He done told you where his heart is.
Oh. Well, he said maybe she might be the one to
the
appease
man
both sides.
In the words
remember how Dana was holding his lips last week?
In the words of Jimmy Battle.
Go, Miles, that's good. Oh my God.
In the words of Juby Battle, the boy done told you where his heart is. And his heart ain't in her. His heart.
Now, I don't know why she's doing it, but I know why he's doing it.
You know, I'm gonna tell y'all something very interesting. I can always look at stars and tell who's for the snow bunnies and who's for the sisters. I took one look at him and I knew.
Listen, I told y'all a couple weeks ago why.
I knew.
The sisters weren't checking for him.
Roy, that may be true when you speak from a perspective of general.
Look, come on, man.
Nah, bro.
General
perspective. You ain't need to say more.
There's always one sister that's
yeah, man. Like,
you know what, girl? There's always one. But I guarantee
that alone. But okay, I get it.
He approached the IG model in the room who got all the fake stuff on, and she was like, I don't know. And then he took that and placed it for all black women. And then he went across the room and he saw Emily. And Emily was like, oh my God. And then the rest is history.
Gosh,
and he just went with that from now on because Emily said, "Oh my God," and that personified all of them. So you got.
I mean, there's credence to that, though, Lateef. I mean, I think that there's credence to that to a certain extent. You know, if you
there is credence to that, but you don't stop at one. So she's a fool.
I just want him to go back to Lovecraft. That was a great show. He did his best work there. I don't know what's going on here, but he's an actor. You know, do your thing on the screen.
But that's my thing. Just don't stop at one. Jesus Christ.
I mean, what if it really is true?
What else, man?
Yeah, what if it's actually true?
Yeezys are back.
Bobby said it's time to move on. So we got to keep going.
Sure. Adidas said, "Hey, it's time. It's time for us to come back."
Now, who's buying them though?
Everybody.
Oh, man. They haven't been the same since Yeezy left.
Man, please.
Wow.
Their numbers just plummeted.
Yeah, from what I understand, isn't the number like $250 million?
Correct.
That they lost as a result of the deal with Kanye falling through.
Yep.
Correct.
That's a lot.
Kanye's calmed down. He's quiet now.
Yeah.
Well, he has a wife. And
You think he is?
He has a wife? That's news to me.
Yeah.
Bobby doesn't have that picture. You don't have that picture? Bobby.
Who's he married to? Shoot.
Bobby had to bring that next week because what he had for this week, was talking about his ex-wife who said
that girl look like Kim.
No,
it is Kim.
I'm talking about the girl that's. Oh, okay. All right.
That is Kim.
Okay.
That's Kim.
Help me out, man.
Miles is talking about the woman to the right. The woman to the left is Kim. The one to the right ain't Kim.
Yes,
that is Kim. That's to the right. That's Kim.
Man,
yes, that
Kim
is
look
Kim.
black in that picture. I was about to say.
No, I think that picture to the right is his wife.
Kim is crying.
I know that that's Kim on the left. I'm saying that the woman on the right looks like Kim.
It is Kim.
I don't think the woman on the right is Kim.
No, that's her.
Yes.
Oh my God.
It is. Bobby, can you start labeling and adding captions to the pictures?
Oh my God.
Please, Bobby.
Can I just tell y'all the story? Kim Kardashian is crying at night because she's overwhelmed about being a mother.
She got 4 kids.
A single parent, I thought.
Yeah, both.
Okay.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And people were like, wipe your tears with all of your money.
I mean, it's not right because being
damn right
overwhelmed is being overwhelmed. But it's a so different type of overwhelmed feeling when you got nannies and support and money.
Right.
That's a different type of overwhelming feeling.
Right. When they come down here, to Florida,
it's different.
They rent out a mansion, and they rent out Lamborghinis and Bentleys and Roses and stuff, and they have a weekend of what have you. And you want me to have some sort of feeling for you because you feel overwhelmed because you got a job as a
feeling though. You know what I mean?
Don't come to Florida though, because we have a travel advisory here. Don't come here. Go to
California. For her,
that's a whole show.
To the islands.
There's a different level of empathy that one will feel for a single parent who has 4 kids and she live in Lincoln Field and she live in Beverly Hills. Like there's a different level.
Hey.
What is Lincoln Field?
There's a difference when you live in Cutler Bay and Goose. The adjacent of having 4 kids from that neighborhood and this neighborhood is different. I'm just saying.
Bruh.
And Cutler K. While we're going to add that.
What are you saying, Roy? What are you really saying?
My address
I'm going to see you in a few minutes. See me outside, Roy. In a few minutes, I'll be outside.
What's she gonna do next? She gonna get up and be crying because she had to go grocery shopping.
They said LeBron James was crying too, trying, just disappointed that they were swept. Then people are saying that he's contemplating retiring. Other people are saying he's sending subliminal messages to the front office that he's not going to keep playing by himself. Period, point blank. You better get some other people here at the Lakers.
All of those things could be true, Ms. Markins.
And then the last piece is what's old boy who New York kind of kicked to the curb?
Who? Carmelo Anthony?
No, vaccine boy.
Oh, Kyrie
Irving.
Kyrie.
Was suspect to be joining him at the Lakers.
Oh.
So they were saying that, it's interesting. They're gonna always pump them theories until next year. Got to keep it intrigued.
I mean, I'm coming from the old school NBA, the 80s and what have you, and you never heard any of the prominent figures of the NBA teams back then talk about bring some people in here to help me. I'm tired of doing this. Like, you ain't never heard Jordan say no crap like that. You ain't never heard Scottie Pippen, Charles Barkley, Charles Oakley. You ain't never heard nobody say no crap like that.
It was different though, Latif. They just didn't go to the media.
Yeah, I think that's the thing, Latif. I just think that it wasn't broadcasted for the masses.
NBA league.
I'll be about to pick you up in a second.
Okay, my stylist is here now, so I'm gonna have to go.
Yeah, go ahead and get your glam party.
The purple and gold ball. I'll see y'all later.
Okay. Bye. I'll see you in a minute.
I think that that's the difference, Latif. I think that right now we live in a world where you're getting sound bites, and those bites are broadcasted and disseminated throughout the masses. You don't think that stars of yesteryear didn't petition the front office, that didn't petition the GM, or didn't petition head coaches to be like, hey man, I need some help if we're gonna win. We need to get some better players. I believe that happened. I just believe you just didn't know about it because there was no ESPN. There was no ESPN.
ESPN was around, but there was
it wasn't no.
There was an unwritten rule, Miles. Like the secrecy of speaking was kept within that locker room. We hear way too much nowadays. I think that's the difference.
We do hear a lot, and I do agree with you. But there is a lot to say about three dudes getting together who are top players in the league and going to a team and be like, hey, dog, yeah, let's go to San Antonio and run the tables and run a few championships or whatever and see how that go. And that's like Jordan, Magic, and Bird getting together and going to a squad. And it's like you would have never seen nothing like that happen because they would home in their craft first because they trying to beat you.
Well, actually, it did happen. It's called the 92 Dream Team.
Come along.
That's true. But you also got to think about equity too, Latif. Equity across the board in the NBA was different. You knew there was going to be several teams were going to always be there, but the rosters from 1 to 12, all the way through, they're going to be solid players. It's just different, and also I think the league has evolved and has changed a lot too. So where free agency now, you also got to think about the players now and free agency and the NBA Players Association has evolved. So now there's a little bit of freedom with free agency, right? So now you're able to kind of, hey, you know what, I don't want to do, and the players starting to get a little bit more intelligent to me.
Right. I think to piggyback off of what Roy just stated, players have much more control over their careers and narrative as to where they go and what they want to do as opposed to the 80s. They have a lot more control, and it's a direct result of the evolution and the increasing importance of authority of the Players Association and that dynamic and how it reigns over the league. Like, that stuff matters, dog.
No, it does. It does. And I applaud them for that evolution of coming along because the NBA is leaps and bounds as far as player representation is leaps and bounds over the NFL because you're literally looking at like you said, a player induced, a player controlled league or friendly league versus master league, between the NFL, the master and the slave on the type deal mentality between
Negroes for lease. Yes, sir.
Right.
So congrats to the Denver Nuggets.
Very much so.
Yeah.
Next.
Yeah.
Oh.
Hater. Yeah, hater.
Next.
Yeah, hater.
You know, I'm gonna tell you this. The only time I like the Denver Nuggets is when they had
Alex English.
Well, they was good back then, but I'm talking no, he's telling the truth.
Mutombo.
When they had Mutombo and Raouf, and they had during that playoff series,
Robert Pack. Take you back to Robert Pack.
And I remember I knew Robert Pack. Robert Pack when he was supposed to be in the league.
Robert Pack was a wild boy.
Yes,
he was a wild boy.
Hey, but that was the first time an 8 seed beat a 1 seed. That was the very first time.
But to your point, Roy, this whole playoffs, nobody has really ever given Denver a really legitimate shot or even paid attention to them. And it's really disrespectful because they were the 1 seed. So technically speaking, they were expected to be in this.
They're supposed to be there.
Right.
Yeah. Technically, but the thing is, nobody gave them credit. Nobody really talked about them.
Nobody gave the Heat credit. The two teams that may end up
I didn't give the Heat any credit. I ain't gonna even lie. And
that's your team, Miles.
And that's my team, dog. That's my team.
Moving along from the NBA, did you guys hear Timberland is being sued?
By whom?
Co-producer who said that he's never received his royalty payments.
I think I did briefly hear something about this.
That's tough.
About all the songs?
Yes, all of the songs.
Yeah. All of what songs? Everything he's ever produced?
That they produced together jointly.
And
and I think it's all of them.
It's a lot.
That's a lot of money.
I pray it's not true.
I hope it ain't true either. Because Timberland was a nice dude, or is a nice dude.
He seems like a straight up.
Yeah, from what I've heard, like he's one of the true gentlemen and nice guys of the industry. Like you've never heard him mixed up in any foolishness or doing somebody wrong, or like T and I always talk about, like, you know, how when we listen to artists talk about their dealings with certain producers and record labels, like how no artist has nothing good to say about Puffy. Like you don't never hear Timberland's name come up in that same negative light. You don't never hear
Timberland, Jermaine Dupri. You don't hear Master P.
Yeah.
None of them.
Like, this is just hilarious. She said Master P didn't pay.
Well, but she was a actor and actress from the music standpoint.
Right.
Those guys have nothing but love and reverence for Master P, especially Snoop. Snoop reveres Master P.
He does.
He reveres.
You also forget that Timberland and Pharrell are actually cousins.
Now you know what I heard this week, that Pharrell was the one who was singing the hook on that Teddy Riley song that he produced for SW.
Goes way back. Pharrell goes way back.
Yeah, he goes way back.
That was Pharrell. That's crazy to me. He had to be like 10 years old.
He's 15 now.
Is it just me, or Pharrell doesn't age anyway? He might still be 10.
Pharrell does not age. Got me mad.
You know what's funny? What's funny, around that time, that's when I went to Hampton. And coming from Miami, you know, of course, we always had a chip on our shoulder with the swag and everything. But then when I got there to Hampton, Virginia, the Hampton Roads, and I started seeing like the music business and the music that's coming out of that area. Then I started seeing the athletes coming out of that area. I gained a whole new respect for the Hampton Roads area, for the whole.
You can't keep running, baby.
Norfolk, Virginia Beach, Portsmouth. Then, and it wasn't nothing to see Guy up on our campus all the time. Teddy Riley come up on our campus. Here's Marquis. God rest him.
Tell him, Miles.
Hampton has some baddies. They supposed to be up there. Hampton has some baddies.
Yeah.
Well, we're gonna come down a few states. South Carolina.
Why?
Tim Scott has officially announced his candidacy for president.
So
suddenly,
Listen, I'm no political pundit, and I'm especially not an advocate for the Republican Party. But let me say this. There's only one black man in the history of politics that I ever think that could have won the general election to represent the Republican Party in a presidential election, and that's Colin Powell. I don't think any other black man could ever achieve such a feat.
What was the brother that owned Godfather's Pizza? Passed away.
Oh, right.
Oh, Herman Cain.
Herman Cain, yeah.
Maybe Herman Cain. Yeah.
No, Herman Cain couldn't have did.
I don't think Herman Cain would have got a. I don't think the world was ready for Herman Cain.
Herman Cain messed up when his side piece picked up the phone and called him during the interview. She was like, "Yeah, I've been dating him for over 12 years."
Oh, Lord.
Nice.
And she was like, "Hello?" And he was like, "Hey, baby, how you doing?"
Can I get some extra sauce on that piece?
Hey, put some extra mozzarella on that.
Hey.
Right. Piece of what?
Give me some and give me some extra Italian. Give me some
piece of what?
Some extra Italian
mozzarella.
Right.
Some of that extra sausage.
Sauce, right?
Sausage.
Extra cheese is $1.
Weren't we talking about Tim Scott?
Yeah, Tim Scott, man.
This is Tim Scott. We're gonna blame it on Tim
Scott. Don't get me wrong. One thing, and this is the only thing about Tim Scott, he stood up to Trump about something that was going on that he did during his presidency. I can't remember, but he did stand up against him. However, shortly after that, he jumped right back on the bandwagon and was just straight cooning the whole time.
That's a powerful word. Oof.
That's one of those.
Yeah, that's a big.
That's you're going for the jugular, Roy. You're going for the
jugular. Hey, you gotta call it how you see it.
Wow, the jugular, boy. That's one of the trigger words.
You're gonna be real. Now, I will say it is. Now, if you can prove on certain issues that you are still within and for us, the people, or what have you, cool.
I don't know how you can do that and then run with the Republican Party. I don't know how. I don't know, because those two things, those dichotomies are too far.
Colin Powell did it, and Colin Powell stood on.
Yeah, but Colin Powell was a different type of brother. He's a principled
Colin
brother.
Powell never said much.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But Roy, I got a lot of respect for that brother, because when he talked about the essence and the factors and the reason why you go to war, and why countries should go to war, and why countries should go to war, and when President Bush defied all that and took us to war anyway, he stepped down. He said, "Yeah, I'm good on that."
Well, I mean, I get that, but here's the thing: you also got to think about it. I think the world respected Colin Powell, because he was respected, but also look what he represented. When you talk about war in our country, that they don't look at that as they look at black and white. It's different.
You're saying it was accepted across the aisle.
Absolutely. If Colin Powell came out and started talking about racism, then it might be a different conversation. But when you're talking about war and defending our country, I also believe that if Colin Powell was Lateef or our complexion, that also might be a different conversation.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, big time.
I don't know if we're gonna have enough time to cover this, but NAACP issued a travel advisory this week, and
I've been issuing this
week for Florida. Let me throw that part out there for the state of Florida, citing that things that happen to African Americans in Florida are something that you can avoid, so don't go there. Just stay home. But there have been a number of different groups that have come out since that to say things to the effect of, if you do come, there are more than enough Black businesses within, let's just talk about Miami-Dade County. There are over 7,000 Black businesses that have identified as Black businesses that if you come down, you can stay in their hotel, be escorted in there. Yeah. Or an Airbnb. Yes. Be shuttled around in a car owned by someone who's Black, restaurants, more than enough things for you to get into and support Black businesses. Mm-hmm. What were you getting ready to say, Miles?
I forgot.
I
lost my train of thought.
I will say this though, this coming up on this holiday weekend that we're about to embark upon, Memorial Day and also Labor Day weekend, as residents of South Florida, we see it happen every single year where an influx, an abundance of African American people come down to have a good time, go out on South Beach, and every year we hear about 5-6 arrests, and then we have people who are in corrections and law enforcement, and that number is literally double or triple. It's just the ones that we hear about. And so every year I say, don't come down here because they don't even want you down here. Like they really don't.
Yeah.
So
but it'd be too much. It'd be too much gyrating and shaking on the beach. Keep them away, T.
But that's
too
my
much
point.
twerking and gyrating and shaking on the beach.
You can still gyrate and shake at Ybor City in Tampa, or
we really could, but it's not Miami.
Or Hilton Head in South Carolina,
but it's not Dade County,
or Virginia Beach,
but it's not Dade County.
Miles, you just said a mouthful.
I'm just saying.
Dade, period.
Yeah, it's not Dade County, man. It's not, man.
That's my point, though. So my point is, okay, it's not Dade County, but then you run the risk of getting your behind. I mean, every year, like I could see if there was like
Miles when you take the risk.
Yeah, like I mean, it's just because that's synonymous with Miami, the nightlife, that glitz and glamour and scantily clad dressed women running rampant throughout. Scantily clad women.
Scantily clad.
Making up words, Miles.
No, sir, absolutely not. No, I promise you. If you go to dictionary.com, you find it. I promise you.
Scantily is in there.
Yeah, I promise you. Like I
know.
Okay. You would like that. That aura surrounds Miami at all times. T. That dynamic is not associated with Tampa or Virginia Beach.
Yeah. No, you're right.
It's not.
It's not associated with anywhere else but Dade. Okay, for real.
I mean, I'm not knocking it. I'm just, like I said, I'm just saying from the standpoint of this happens every single year.
No, but you're right, Lateef. It does, and you think people know better. The cops out there waiting.
But hey,
right? I mean, they're waiting for you to like.
Tampa don't have no South Beach and Wynwood. Tampa don't have that. No other city has that.
Actually, Ybor City is a little bit like Wynwood. Now, nobody has South Beach. I'll give you that.
Yeah. I mean, that's in a class. That's in a class by itself, bro.
I'm trying to think about ever experienced something like that.
The boy said, "What state you live in?" Miami.
I
live in the state of Miami. Hey, let's get
Miami,
it right.
Florida.
No,
she said Miami, Florida.
No, state. Don't disrespect.
Hey,
get it right.
She said, "Hey, Roy." She said, "Miami, Florida." No, Miami-Dade County.
Real.
And don't disrespect me like that again. Miami,
don't ever.
She said Miami is in the state of its own being, and he wasn't telling no lies. Wasn't telling no lies.
That's true.
Yeah,
that's true. Well, we'll be back next week, guys. We'll have all of the photos from the Purple and Gold Ball tonight, and I'll make sure that Lateef gives us the doggone pictures from Freaknik.
Long shot, but I got the reach. Pop, lock, now I'm off the leash. Mic drop, I ain't gotta preach. I just do what comes natural.